You know, sitting in the back of the room brought back so much memory on my entrepreneur journey the last 30 years. And especially witnessing what happened the last couple of years to the world. The world events, as we call it, that impacted so many lives. This thing called the calling. How many want to really know the story, how this whole thing came about? How many want to know that? I'd like to take a moment to share with you how this project came about. Because I think it's important in the times that we're living right now that this world that we're currently living in right now, that it is calling for change. It is calling for rising of humanity. It's calling for us coming together to raise our consciousness. And interestingly, it's called for us to do that through a business platform. Seemingly, it's a business platform. I've been an entrepreneur for 30 years. I started this industry kind of, now looking back, it was by design. I didn't know then when I started this industry. I got my college degree, went to work for one of the Fortune 500 companies, and just when I thought that I was at the height of my corporate career, I got downsized. I was laid off. I was depressed, I was frustrated, I didn't know what I was gonna do. So a friend of mine said he was gonna help me. So I thought he was gonna help me find a job. But rather, I showed up to a meeting and there were hundreds of people in the meeting. I go, oh my gosh, I got competition. And little did I know that it was a network marketing meeting. I didn't even know what network marketing was about. And so, but I saw two things 30 years ago in a similar setting, a lot smaller than tonight. And what I saw was two things. First, I saw ordinary people achieving extraordinary results. And second thing I saw was people with a glimpse of hopes in their eyes. I have never ever shown up to work where people like their eyes were glittering with that spark in their eyes. So I was intrigued. So I got started that, I just got excited and I enrolled and I joined that night. Then when I joined, I went home. And first person I talked to was my sister, who I respected tremendously. You know, she went to USC, got her master's degree, and I said, you know what, I finally found something. That I found my American dream, that I'm gonna be a millionaire. She looked at me, she says, don't tell me you drank the Kool-Aid. She says, Kim, you are an accountant. You are a bean counter. You know nothing about sales and marketing. And this is what you should do. You should call the company and you say you want to cancel. You want a refund. So, like a little sister would do, I called my sponsor and I said, listen, I made a mistake. I said, I have no job, I have no money, and I put that on my credit card. And I said, would you process a refund for me? And he says, Kim, before you process for refund, I want you to do one thing first. He says, why don't you attend a training on a Saturday? And if after the training, you still don't like it, I will help you process for a refund. I said, well, fair enough, I will do that. So on a Saturday morning, I went to a training. I entered a room, and here was a middle-aged gentleman, and I gotta be careful nowadays calling him middle-aged, because now I am middle-aged. So, and he was talking very slowly, very calmly, and he was making money. And I thought, wow, if he could do it, I think I could do it too. Then I went to my sponsor and I said, can you really, really make money in this industry? He says, of course. And I said, what is the most iconic figure? What is someone that make the most in this industry at that moment? And keep in mind, this is about 30 years ago. And he said that, well, the #1 money earner in this industry so far was a gentleman by the name of Dexter Yeager. And he was at that time, 30 years ago, making about $1 million a month. I go, wow, now that's real money. Would you say $1 million a month is pretty good money? Not ringgit, US dollar. But even ringgit is pretty good money, isn't it? So I go, well, okay, that's $12 million a year. I said, that's nice. Now, what happened in that conversation is that unknowingly, it planted a seed in my head. A seed of possibility. That if someone in this industry are able to make $1 million a month, that opens the door of possibility for me. Someone who was laid off, downsized, didn't have a job, have a college degree, worked in corporate America for 10 years, but had no money in the bank. So, that $1 million a month seed, do you think it happened for me in year 1 of my career? Year 2? Year 3? But that didn't stop me. I think it was in 2016, 2017, around that time frame. I experienced what it feels like to make $1 million a month after month, year after year. Do you guys want to know how it feels like to make that kind of money? Would you like me to share with you? Well, this group is louder. Would you like me to share with you? Well, in the beginning, when I started making some money, first you got to be debt-free, pay off all your debts, whatever assets that's on loan, paid it off. Then, as most ladies would like to do, I went shopping. I would buy lots of shoes. I only got 2 feet, not centipede. I only got and I would like to buy shoes. And ladies, what else would you like to buy? Purses, scarves. And every time I go to a scarf shop, I would say, I only got one neck. I'm not buying any more scarves. But before you know it, I have hundreds of scarves. Then my appetite got a little bigger. Then I went to buy jewelry, all the rocks, then watches, then nice cars. But after all that entire process, I realized that, you know what? Doesn't matter whatever I buy. I was only happy for maybe maximum, I don't know, about a week or 2. A week or 2 later, the sports car gets old. You know, one of my dreams was, back then was to own a Mercedes. I bought a Mercedes, but my Mercedes was too small. Then one of my bigger dreams was to buy a bigger S-Class Mercedes. At that time, I bought the biggest S-Class Mercedes that was available. And then I still remember when I bought my S600, that at that time was the biggest one, it was a special edition one. And I would be driving, and this is a process, a journey. And when I was driving the S-Class Mercedes, you know what I would do? I would stick my face in the windshield, as if when there's a stop light, I thought if someone were to pass by, they would see me driving the S-Class Mercedes. And that process, and I want to share that with you as an entrepreneur, as someone that had nothing to achieve a little success in this world that we're living in. And so, doesn't matter what I purchased, whatever it was, I was happy for only so long. And so, I went into a self-search. It was at that time when I was bringing all that money, I said, there's got to be something more to life than money. Because we can't take any of that with me. When we check out, how many of you heard the saying that we came naked and we go naked? All the properties, all the land, whatever we owned, you don't really own nothing. It belongs on earth. We are only taking temporary stewardship of what that is, the material stuff. So I told myself, I want to seek the next chapter of my life. And it was interesting when you embark on that journey, I often ask myself the question, whatever wealth I had accumulated, and I think I had this conversation with Samson a couple of years ago. I said, you know what? I want to use whatever wealth I have, instead of having it sit in the bank, bless you, instead of having the money sitting in the bank, I want to have that outworking to manifest even more goodness on earth. That is the true purpose of having wealth. And think about this. If money's in the bank, what good does it do? God forbid, if there's a bank run, there goes the money. Are you guys with me so far? So I was seeking I said, I often ask myself the question, was I willing to take what I have and let it go in exchange for something more deeper, more meaningful. So I began my search. And in America, as some of you know, there are a lot of seekers around the world. When they're seeking, they look for spiritual places. And now I grew up in Los Angeles. So one of the spiritual places I knew was a place called Sedona. So I began to go to Sedona. And that place, I just fell in love with a little town that, I've traveled to over 60 countries. And I meet people and talk to people and meet people and speak for a living. And I love the little small town feel where I know nobody, it was a foreign place to me, and it's only me and the land. And so I fell in love with that town, and every day I would be on the land hiking or contemplating or in my own sanctuary, asking what was I called to do? Why am I on earth? Have anyone ever asked the question, why did we come here? I mean, think about this, why? So, in my search, during that time, many of my friends said, Kim, you need to come back out. You need to do business. I said, I refuse. I said, I don't want to do business anymore. Because I realized as an entrepreneur, once I get the money issue out of the way, money doesn't make me happy. Now, when you don't have it, of course, it's nice to have money. It's nice to have experienced abundance. But that money, the physical paper, doesn't buy happiness. So it was during that time of pondering, I think it was in September of last year, that a calling came. As if I got a message and said, you know what, Kim? It is time. It is time for you to use your gift and your blessing and your gifting to come out and be the voices of hope, not you. I know that there are many people out there in the time that we're faced right now in humanity that we all need to come together to be the voices of hope for humanity. And I was at the same time praying for a line of products that would mitigate and minimize some of the impact that happened the last couple of years. So the next morning, when that message came the next morning, I woke up, I had a dream or I had a message or whatever that was, I was asked to call a couple in San Diego. And even though I talk for a living, I'm an introvert. I don't like to see people. When I'm done, I hide in the corner or I go to my sanctuary. So the first person I called when I woke up was I called Samson. I said, Samson, I was asked to call a couple in San Diego. I said, who do you know in San Diego? And he goes, oh yeah, I know Lance and Tracy Smith. I said, well, you know what? I'm asked to come back to LA and I need you to call them and we'll meet. And so that's how this search began. We shared with Lance and Tracy, and I told Samson about the calling and I shared with them about what we wanted, what I was called to do, that we all need to come together to be the voices of hope. Now, Lance and Tracy also spent many years in this industry. And so, you know what? That message resonated with them. And so on and so forth. When we start telling people, some of my colleagues, Harris, Chloe, Zhao Yun, all the people I start sharing, they say they've been blessed by this industry. They all want to do and build a legacy project. So hence, we have 40 people that willingly walk away from something that we have built for 13 and a half years, that come together to want to build a legacy project. So I think it was sometime in October or November, I forgot the exact date, that I woke up one morning and I was asked, during my dream, I was asked to resign from a quite substantial monthly residual income. And just as the calling, I answered. I walked away from that, and 40 other my friends also walked away from that. Now, we are now middle-aged. Samson's middle-aged, I'm middle-aged, but we're the new middle-age. I don't think we look anything like 55 or 58, do we? No. So, we decided to come together to build a legacy project. A project that's coming from a space of love and contribution. If it's not something to contribute to humanity, it is not worth it for me. Not at age 58. Today marks the 5th week. I've been on the road This is my 5th week, and I'm traveling on 2 carry-ons, no luggage. You don't see any high heels or fancy clothing. I decided after all this year career, I'm gonna come as I am. For those people that hear the message, that resonate with the message, this could be for you. My question to the audience here today is this: how many of you know that you can be better than what you are here today? How many of you know that? How many of you can feel that? You are meant to be bigger and better than what you are here today. Show hands. Congratulations, you are in the right room. You know, we all are meant to do better. You know, we thought we had a great run, building a company from my kitchen table with 5 people from 0 to become a $10 billion company in 13 years. That was pretty substantial. But I know that's nothing compared to what we're about to do. Because 13 and a half years ago, now 14 years ago, we started with 5 people. That business went to 146 countries and territories. Do you know how many people we started with at 3? From day 1, we started with over 10,000 people. That ought to have a round of applause. 5 people in 13 years did 10 billion. 10,000 people in 10 years. Do you know what it could be? It could be over 100 million. You do the math. What you're sitting here tonight is truly an opportunity of a lifetime. How many of you know of people that because of one opportunity, that their entire lineage of family finances are changed forever? How many of you know of people, just one opportunity changed their life? You are sitting here tonight. If you ever have had a dream of wanting to be something bigger and better than what you are, tonight is the opportunity. You know, I watch all these international people coming over here. As a matter of fact, for Amy, many of your businesses has no relationship to hers. She poured her heart out. All the testimonial, Gary, Lisa, Master Joseph, they pour their heart out. You know, sometimes I feel like maybe we humans shouldn't even talk. That if we learn not to only listen through our 2 physical ears, but if you learn to listen from the inner ear and to feel it with our heart and our guts, and to see not with our physical eyes, but something even more innate, you will feel the genuineness. You will feel the energetic message behind those words. That whether you understand the compensation plan or not, whether you understand the opportunity or not, but I believe, somehow, somewhere in your guts, you could feel it. For those of you wanting to have success, wanting to change your life, everything begins with a dream. How many of you are brave or have the courage to want to dream again in 2023? How many of you have the courage to dream again? Well, you know what? Dreaming, it is the first step. Because success are created 3 times. First time, it must create it in a dream, in a vision. It has to create that, having a dream, a vision, an imagination, that is your communication with you and the universe. How you hone in to manifest that dream into reality, that's your intention. When you set the intention, because every day we have thoughts floating around. And in this world, in this universe, where potentiality, all the different potential already existed. The better version of yourself, success, abundance, better health, all that already existed. So to achieve that, you have to be brave enough and have to be courageous enough and open enough and not lock into your physical mind. To have the ability or give yourself the opportunity to tap into the quantum field. That potentiality, it already existed. So first, dream it. So how do you manifest that and bring it down here? Second, you have to plan it. Do your plan of action. What is the plan? What are some of the things that you have to do to bring it from potentiality to reality? So first, dream it. Second, plan it. Third one, what's important is you gotta work it. Because it's not, you join the opportunity, you're gonna be rich. No such thing. You get involved, you take the product, experience the product, feel better than you've ever been. And you're gonna work it. Give yourself the opportunity. Give yourself a chance to learn and to grow. Because this is a business platform, but even better than that, this is a life platform. A platform where you can learn, where you can grow as a human being. 3 means different things to different people. But 3 means to me, what it means to me, 3 is physical wellness, financial wellness, and ultimately, and most importantly, it is spiritual wellness. Because we don't want to be financially wealthy, but spiritually bankrupt. There are many people we know out there that even though they may have money, but they're so lonely that the only thing they have left is money. How many of you want to help others too? That's why you are here. And so I hope that you really give yourself the opportunity and join our global wellness movement. For you will never know that the simple decision you might be able to touch and save someone's lives. Malaysia, this is the first time and the first beginning we have an international delegation meeting such as this here tonight. Look at this room. This is my 16th city, 7 countries later, the last 5 weeks. In Malaysia, you guys rock the house. This is the biggest crowd in my 16 cities. Malaysian spirits is absolutely, you guys are the epitome of human spirit. Keep it up. Because Malaysia Belay! You guys keep this up, I'm gonna have to come back pretty soon. I really think that we can, through here, people in this room, we will change the world. How we change the world first, by changing ourselves. It is my honor and pleasure to have the opportunity to stand in front of you, and thank you for spending the last couple of hours with us. I know there's many things that you could do in this world, but that last precious 2 hours with us, I'm very grateful. And besides the 2 hours with us, we did take away one thing from you, and that is the excuse of you have never been at the right place at the right time, because for sure tonight, you are at the right place at the right time with the right company, with the right product, and more importantly, with the right people. With that, thank you so much, and look forward to seeing you all soon. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Give me a big round of applause. Wow, it's our absolute pleasure